You know what's funny? We spend thousands of hours learning algebra, memorizing historical dates, and studying subjects we'll never use again. But nobody ever teaches us the one skill we use literally every single day: small talk. And here's the kicker. Most people think they're just naturally bad at it, like it's some genetic lottery they lost. But what if I told you that being bad at small talk isn't actually a thing? It's not a character flaw. It's just a skill you haven't learned yet. I discovered this the hard way during my first week at a new job. Picture this. I'm standing in the break room, someone walks in, we make eye contact, and my brain just freezes. The silence stretches for what feels like an eternity. I manage to mumble something about the weather, because of course I do, and then I practically run back to my desk. I spent the rest of the day convinced everyone thought I was weird. Sound familiar? Here's what nobody tells you. Small talk isn't small at all. It's actually the gateway to many of the meaningful relationships in your life. Your future best friend? You'll probably meet them through small talk first. That dream job? It might come from a casual conversation in an elevator with the right person. A business opportunity that changes your trajectory? It could start with small talk at a coffee shop. Small talk is often the audition for significant connections in your life. Not a guarantee, but a doorway that's worth learning to open. But here's the good news, and I mean really good news. Small talk operates on a simple formula. It's not magic, it's not talent, and it definitely doesn't require you to be an extrovert. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down the exact framework that transformed me from someone who'd rather sit in awkward silence than start a conversation, to someone who can talk to literally anyone, anywhere, about anything. We're talking about 3 simple strategies that work together like a social superpower. Strategy 1. The interest reset. Let's start with the biggest misconception that's probably holding you back right now. You think small talk is about you, what you should say, how you sound, whether you're being interesting enough. Wrong. Small talk is 100% about the other person. Let that sink in for a second. You're not performing. You're not auditioning. You're exploring. Think of yourself as a detective, and every person you meet is a mystery waiting to be solved. Your job isn't to be fascinating, it's to be fascinated. This single mindset shift changes everything, because when you're genuinely curious about someone, something powerful happens. Your anxiety disappears. Seriously. Your brain can't worry about how you're coming across when it's busy being curious about them. And the other person? They relax instantly. People can sense genuine interest, and when they feel it, their guard drops. So, how do you actually do this? Start with what I call the tell me more technique. When someone gives you a basic answer, I work in marketing, most people just nod and move on. Don't do that. Instead, say, oh, interesting. What's that like? Or, what got you into that field? You're not just acknowledging their answer. You're opening a door and inviting them to walk through it. Here's where it gets good. Listen for the energy shift. When someone's voice changes, gets faster, louder, more animated, that's them showing you what they actually care about. That's your signal. That's where you dig deeper. If they mention they just started rock climbing and their whole face lights up, forget about their job. Ask about the climbing. What made you want to try that? What's the scariest thing you've climbed so far? Most people treat small talk like a checklist: weather, job, weekend plans. But great small talk is like jazz. You're riffing off what the other person gives you, following the energy, seeing where it leads. Strategy 2. The story bank. Here's something that might surprise you. You need to prepare for small talk. I know. It's supposed to be spontaneous and natural, right? Here's the truth. Spontaneity is overrated. Natural is just another word for practiced. Think about comedians. They seem effortlessly funny, like they're just naturally witty. But behind every spontaneous joke is hours of writing, testing, and refining. The best conversationalists do the same thing. They don't wing it, they prepare. Create what I call your story bank, a mental collection of 5 to 7 go-to stories from your life that you can pull out in different situations. These aren't long, elaborate tales. They're short, relatable moments that reveal something about you while keeping the focus on connection, not performance. Here's the formula. Each story should be about 30 to 45 seconds long, have a clear beginning and end, and ideally include either a lesson you learned or something mildly self-deprecating. Why self-deprecating? Because it makes you instantly relatable and takes the pressure off. When you share a small failure or awkward moment, you're giving the other person permission to be imperfect too. For example, one of my go-to stories. I tried learning guitar last year and I was so confident I'd be playing songs within a month. 3 months later, I could barely play 3 chords without my fingers cramping. Turned out, patience isn't really my strong suit. See what that does? It's quick, it's relatable. It opens up conversations about hobbies, learning new skills, or funny failures. It's a Swiss Army knife of small talk. But here's the key most people miss. Your stories should have hooks for other people to grab onto. My guitar story? People can respond with their own learning experiences, their musical interests, or their struggles with patience. Each story you craft should have multiple connection points built in. Start building your story bank today. Think about a funny travel mishap, a surprising lesson you learned, an unexpected challenge you faced, something that changed your perspective, or a quirky hobby or interest. Write them down. Practice telling them out loud. Yes, seriously. Talk to yourself in the mirror if you have to. This isn't weird. This is preparation. And preparation is what separates people who dread small talk from people who actually enjoy it. Strategy 3. The exit, grace. Here's the part of small talk that makes most people panic more than the talking itself. How do you end a conversation without it being weird? You know that feeling, right? You're mid-conversation, you need to leave, but you don't want to seem rude, so you just stand there, hoping the other person will end it first. Let me save you from that torture right now. Ending a conversation well is actually easier than starting one. You just need what I call the exit grace formula. It has 3 simple parts: appreciation, reason, and bridge. First, the appreciation. You acknowledge the value of the conversation. Something like, "This has been really interesting. I had no idea you were into photography." This does 2 things. It validates the time you both spent talking, and it gives you a natural transition point. Second, the reason. This is where most people mess up. They either give no reason at all, just awkwardly drift away, or they apologize profusely. "I'm so sorry, I really need to go. I'm so sorry." Stop apologizing. Instead, give a simple, honest reason. "I need to grab something before the store closes. I should probably get back to work. I promised I'd call my mom before dinner." Notice these aren't apologetic. They're just factual. Third, the bridge. This is crucial because it signals that you valued the conversation enough to want more. It could be as simple as, "Let's definitely continue this conversation sometime." Or more specific, "You mentioned that podcast. Send me the name. I'd love to check it out." If you genuinely want to stay connected, suggest something concrete. "We should grab coffee sometime. Are you free next week?" The magic of this formula is that nobody feels rejected. You acknowledge the conversation mattered, you gave a legitimate reason for leaving, and you created a pathway forward. Even if you never actually talk again, you both walk away feeling good about the interaction. Here's a pro move. Practice your exits before the conversation even starts. I know that sounds strange, but hear me out. Before walking into a party, a networking event, or even just the office break room, decide in advance how long you can realistically stay and what your exit reason will be. This removes the panic of figuring it out on the spot. You already know you need to leave by 8 p.m. to walk your dog. You're not being rude, you're being responsible. Bringing it all together. So let's recap what we've covered, because these 3 strategies work best when you use them together. First, shift your mindset from performing to exploring. You're not there to be interesting, you're there to be interested. Second, build your story bank so you're never caught flat-footed when someone asks about you. And third, master the exit grace formula so you can leave conversations feeling confident, not guilty. Here's what I wish someone had told me years ago. Small talk isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. You're going to have awkward moments. You're going to say something weird. You're going to blank on what to say next. That's not failure. That's practice. The people who are naturally good at small talk, they've just had more awkward conversations than you. They've stumbled through enough interactions that it doesn't faze them anymore. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. Every conversation is making you better, even the uncomfortable ones. Start small. Tomorrow, commit to one genuine conversation with someone you don't know well. Use the interest reset. Ask one follow-up question you normally wouldn't ask. Next week, prepare one story for your story bank. The week after that, practice a graceful exit. Build the skill slowly, deliberately, without pressure. Because here's what I've learned. Small talk isn't about being someone you're not. It's about becoming more comfortable, being exactly who you are, one conversation at a time. And that's a skill worth mastering. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and drop a comment telling me which strategy you're going to try first. And hey, if you want more practical tips on navigating life's everyday challenges, subscribe because we're just getting started. Thanks for watching, and remember, you're just one conversation away from something amazing. Make it count.